Hey, hey, hey.
Oh, you went without Albert this week.
Hey, hey, hey.
How are you, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
How was your Father's Day weekend?
Well, I'm wearing one of my Father's Day gifts. I got this. You guys
Oh,
know I'm a movie buff, and I'm a big Back to the Future movie buff.
I,
So
I went with a Father's Day gift as well. Look, I keep all my dad jokes in a database. So,
Boom.
yeah,
You know
so
you're old when you get T-shirts for Father's Day.
hey, I'll take T-shirts over coffee mugs. I don't wear ties. At least my kids know that, so I don't get those.
Yep. So it was good. I was actually driving on Father's Day from Amarillo, Texas. We went out there on vacation to see my wife's family. So we left. It's a 2 day drive. It's 20 hours. So we did like 11 in on Saturday, and then we did like 9 on Sunday. So we were driving. So I did get to spend Father's Day with my wife and kids. So that was fun. And while I was out in Amarillo visiting, we went to one of the local card shops. I think it's actually really the only local card shop for sports cards in Amarillo. Uh, has a cool story though, very similar to
Yep.
my experience with Grand Slam. He the previous owner had passed away back in 2015, 2016, and the guy that runs it now uh, quit his job and in 2016 bought it from the family and like rocking and rolled through COVID like we all did. And then he's noticing, kind of a cool down, things returning to normal, except for hobby box prices, of course. And then, but it was a small shop. I bought a few things during our card from the vault. I'll show you a card I added to my personal collection that I got from that shop. And
Excellent.
it was fun. I got to sit and visit with him for a little bit and talk shop and buy a couple things. And that was always cool
So,
being in a card shop.
so let me ask you this: do you lead with that, or do you see how they do? You lead with, "Oh, I own a shop in Rock Hill, South Carolina,"
No,
or
in
do you
fact,
sort of play it cool?
I play tattooed kid that is in browsing around. So he was friendly like he would be
Good.
to anyone, and so I started asking questions like, you've been doing this long, and is this your shop, and how long you've owned it, and then after about 15, 20 minutes in of being there, then he asked me, so what do you do for a living? Well, funny enough, I also run a
So he
card shop.
didn't. So he didn't. I asked you what he led with. So he didn't lead with, "Oh, I know you from your podcast." He didn't.
No, but I will say this. I was at the pool in Amarillo with the wife and kids, and a lady that we ran into there said her husband watches the podcast.
Shut up.
Swear on the Holy Bible.
Yes, we could
Andy,
end it. Okay, guys, we're
Andy
signing
is
off.
his name. Andy,
We're,
if you're watching
yeah.
this, thank you for watching this. We ran into your wife at the pool.
Nope.
Small disclaimer. Small disclaimer. Nancy and Andy are old Facebook friends from when we lived in Amarillo.
See, don't spoil it for me. I was about to sign off. I was like,
But I
okay,
know
drop the mic. We're
I
done.
almost texted you and said I was at the Amarillo pool and a lady told me that her husband watches our podcast. So
Fantastic. I'll take it.
it's so
I
cool. And I said I'd give him a shout out. So Andy, thank you for listening. I know you and your son are getting into
yes.
cards together, and so hopefully this is entertaining and probably helps that you know me in the past. But
Fantastic. No, that made my day. That made my day. Other than being with my kids on Father's Day, that made my day. That's
they
awesome. All
did
right,
say I
let
could fire you, but other than that, no, just kidding.
me All right, let me do the rundown before as things go downhill from here after that highlight. So, as usual, we're doing the opening rip where we go over some hobby news and some things to sort of open the program with. New in the shop, uh, behind the counter, and hobby advice. We're going to open it up to some questions that we've gotten in the past, and anybody listening or watching live, throw some questions in the chat. We'd love to answer those tonight.
Yeah.
Card
If
from the
we can't
vault.
answer them, we'll talk about them.
Absolutely. Card from the vault coming to the shop as far as product coming to the shop in the next couple weeks. And then we're going to end, as usual, with crazy stat of the week. So here is the opening rip. Again, happy belated Father's Day.
You too. You too.
So the Warriors win in sort of a blowout fashion. So my prediction, I had a 50 shot of getting it right once he got to the finals, but it wasn't Jason Tatum's year. He didn't look right. I don't know if he was hobbled or what, but so the Warriors win. The NBA season's over. Now what? So what do we do?
All gets even hotter.
Yeah. So football gets even hotter.
Probably.
Yes, and so because why? Because the focus is now on baseball, and then the upcoming football season.
Looming football season. I know fantasy drafts start taking place in the next couple months.
Yep. So as far as the shop traditionally, and sort of let us behind the curtain here. This is sort of our behind the counters. Do you consciously pull basketball product out of the showcase? Do you leave it in there? What do you do?
No, we leave it in. The right cards year round will sell. We have customers that are just strictly into basketball. And during COVID, basketball just exploded, and so we've gained new customers that are always looking for basketball stuff. There's that section of customers too that are going to want to buy basketball out of season when it's low, and they've got their hunches for next season and stuff. So the right collection comes through that we pick up. It's got basketball in it. It's going to go in the case for sure. We have enough room for all three of the big sports that we do well. But when we first took the store over, it was like football and baseball. And football would go up here, and then baseball season would come around. And by the end of the year, we'd look at the numbers and we're like, man, football and baseball up here, and then basketball was way down here.
Way down.
And COVID hit, and basketball became very popular and passed baseball. And then now I would say for our store, it's football, baseball, and basketball. And they're all closer for sure. Different hotter products.
Right.
We'll change that during time, but still no soccer though. Soccer's way down there. We're getting there.
You just wait.
Yep.
You just wait. So let us know in the chat. I see there's a handful of listeners live watching us. So let us know in the chat what you guys plan on doing. If you guys are into basketball, are you guys going to wait a little bit? Are you guys going to go ahead and take down some of the target teams or players?
I will say,
go ahead,
that I picked Warriors, Bucks, or Suns at the very beginning. I mean, it's not like that was rocket science. I understand. But I was taking those three against the entire field. The Heat scared us a little bit. The Celtics, of course, made it far. And the other teams were the Grizzlies kind of, and the Mavs kind of made us take notice that maybe I made a mistake. But had I taken one of those three against the field, I would have won by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Did you see that Tatum had 100 turnovers this postseason?
Yeah. I don't, I hope this is his it seems like, every hero sort of has a struggle they have to go through before they become who they're supposed to be. Right. Even Jordan had to go through his struggles before he became who he was. So I'm hoping that this is sort of Tatum's wake up call, whether it's something he needs to work on, something he needs. Maybe it's him talking with the front office saying, hey, I can't do this all by myself, or, hey, we need just this one piece, or it could just be timing. Maybe he just ran into what looks like one of the great dynasties in modern basketball with the Warriors. I don't know. Funny story with Tatum. In a previous life, I've told you guys this. I used to be in golf. I actually taught at a golf college. Not golf, thank goodness, because I just ruin people. But it's much easier to ruin somebody's golf game than it is to fix it. Trust me. But I taught a couple business classes at this golf college, and one of my students has a golf academy up in the Massachusetts area, and one of his students is Jason Tatum. pretty cool. So
I
maybe
did.
that's why subconsciously I was just picking him to win. I was rooting.
Yeah, I did see that. It was someone was giving him crap online because he's been wearing like the Kobe workout gear, and like channeling his inner Kobe. And someone said, "Bro, you're really gonna channel your inner Kobe and score 13 points in the finals?" So it's like,
Oh, it's tough. It's tough,
pride cometh before the fall.
Yeah,
Be
yeah,
careful.
yeah. Well, hello, Mr. Facebook user, and I agree. Boston will be back next year.
I'm
They
not so
they will.
sure I agree, but I'm okay with it if they are. Did you see? So it was another one. Man, I should remember this. So a Warriors player that was offered a large contract to stay with the Warriors, he opted out and went and signed with the Lakers because he wanted to go win a title.
Oh gosh.
And I think he tweeted out, I'm happy for my homies, but this one hurts or something
I
like that.
bet it does.
Yeah, he's not
I
looking
bet
very
it
smart
does.
right now.
Well, before we get out of the opening rip, there has been a rumble, and certainly I asked you today in preparation for this, how are sales of 2022 Top Series 2, and what did you tell me?
We
That
are
you
sold out.
are
We are sold out.
sold out. And
With a caveat, I priced it really competitive to move it, and we got it in right before trade night, which makes a difference right before that weekend of trade night. So, yeah, so I priced it really good because it wasn't supposed to be as good as Series 1.
and
So,
that was the rumor, right? That they were missing the big rookies. Well, they weren't missing the big rookies. What Tops did in Tops/Fanatics, and I'm still on the fence with this, but what they did was they buried these hot rookies as short prints in this
mhm.
set and super short prints. So let me share my screen. And sorry, I apologize. Hey Matt, what's up? Yes, he did price it to move, and that's why I did not get a chance to buy it because it's all gone. So
We may get some
hopefully,
more. We may get some more. Don't
and
worry.
and you know what? And I haven't seen it in the wild. I don't know if they're just delaying the retail release, but you see everything else in Walmart these days. You other than Prism Football, obviously, but you don't see any Top Series 2 in
Yeah,
retail at
yeah.
all. So let me share my screen, and I want to get your take on whether or not you like what
Oh,
Topps is doing here.
I was actually going.
So,
I do. I was actually going to talk about this card today. I have a story about this card, but
what's your story?
so and this is
And
all rumor. I can't verify this, but I think it's true.
and for you guys that are listening, we're looking at the short print of the Wander Franco card that has superimposed the Raymond, the mascot for the
Mascot.
Tampa Bay Rays, on top of his head. So go ahead with your story.
Yeah. So apparently, a breaker online did a player break out of that product, and they pulled that because that card is like a $3,000 short print, I
The
believe.
Raymond.
Yeah. And because it wasn't Wander, the breaker said he was going to go ahead and keep that one personally because it's not one of the players that they sold in the break. And I'm like, oh,
Has this breaker not seen anything that's going on with breakers these days?
yeah, it makes me cringe because A, that's not fair. And if you don't give that to the Wander guy, that's just a crime. And I'm guessing that if he did a player break, unless it was random, there was different prices for different players. So the guy that probably bought Wander probably paid the most out of
Yep.
all the players.
You
So
gotta give it to him.
you got to give it to him. So I hope that's not true, or the guy is not a total freaking idiot and loses his breaking page because
Oh,
of it. But just another breaking horror story. So
that
that
is a
just
horror story.
another reason to just break with Grand Slam breaks.
There you go. Hey Matt, did you pull any short prints? Let us know in the chat whether or not you pulled any short prints out of that jumbo. I saw that you took that down on trade night, and so let me know if you got anything. But if you are watching, so I'm flashing the on Tops, and it challenges my old eyes. to find out what the numbers are on the back. But the base cards, and Matt, congrats on the Ichiro. I'm going to pull that up here. The last three numbers for base cards are 847. Short print variations are 865. Super. They should do SDP instead of SSP, so it's super duper
No, they
short
shouldn't.
prints. It's 866, and ultra variations are 867. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but
that's a handy little, like, if they just had that little picture there, that's a handy little picture
yeah.
to
But
say.
you could see here. So this is the Wander base, and then the short print. They did it with Bryce Harper. They did it with Joey Votto, and let me scroll through
Pete
here.
Alonso. So those are mascot.
Those are mascots.
Yeah.
And then what they do is, so for Jed Lowry, poor Jed, I don't even know who Jed Lowry is. No disrespect. But the short print for him is I'm the Greatest Ricky Henderson card. And then you've got Seth Beer, the Mark McGuire I'm Still Skinny card. And so you're going to see all these short prints. I love these two, Yaz and Ted Williams. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to put the link of this into the show notes.
Yeah, if you're
going
watching,
to see,
click on the link and go check it out.
And you'll check it out. I want to bore the guys that aren't on here watching, but you're going to see. So, sorry. Here we go. So the base card 658, base card is Justin Brule, which is a pitcher who's a rookie for the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
The short print of that is the big hitting first baseman, Spencer Torkelson. The base Lamont Wade, number 659. The short print of him is a guy named Julio Rodriguez.
Can you explain that? I don't understand why they do that.
Well, I think they did this on the sly. I think this is how Topps is going to do big rookies from now on. I think instead of doing the overprint dance that they did with Wander, which you could swing a dead cat around and hit the Wander Franco rookie out of Series 1.
Yeah.
I think what they're going to do, and I think I like it, is they're going to take the big rookies of that year and release them as short prints in the flagship product. And I like it.
I like it.
I like it. So the big, let's see, I guess the big three is Torkelson, which is card 658, Julio Rodriguez 659. They got a bunch of Shohei short prints, and then I think the biggest one. So this is interesting. So the base Shohei card 660 is him pitching, and the short print is Bobby Witt Jr., his rookie card.
Interesting.
So I love it. I have a feeling that I know that's why in conjunction with you pricing it so well in the shop and the whole trade night momentum, I think people got wind of this and it became a true chase product.
Yeah.
Matt, you're hilarious. Your OCD does not.
So Matt asked, do we think those should be numbered? And I personally do not. I don't want to know how many there are. And I think the mystery helps the value. Correct me if you think I'm wrong. I sent you privately, Michael, a 2018 Topps Acuna card. If you can pull that up and show it on the screen when you get a chance, I'll tell you about that card. I like the SSPs not being numbered. It would be nice to know how many there are. So if you're watching, sorry if you're not, but you can go back and watch. This is the super short print Acuna rookie out of 2018 Topps. And I can recall, granted, boxes were a lot cheaper in 2018 and we had a lot of that product. So we sold cases of these. So when I say 2 or 3 of these were pulled in the shop that I know of, This card is a huge card. And if you're familiar with his Topps rookie cards, you may see this card and say, why have I never seen this card? Because I've seen two in person, I think. And the other one's the bat down, the bat ups, those I've seen hundreds.
Yeah, I thought the bat down was the short print.
Yeah. Have you seen this card before?
I have never, and now, and darn you,
This card is awesome.
now here comes another chase. I've never seen it. This is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So that card, they call it the white jersey, super short print. And I remember one of the regulars hit this in the store, and it was selling for like, this is pre-COVID prices too. It was selling for like $300, and I offered him $300 for the card, full price, the time he pulled it, but he was not interested in selling it. And I think he got it graded, and I think it came back a 9. I'll have to find that out again, but he still got it. And one of the other guys that pulled it, I don't know, he may listen to the podcast too. He had one that was dinged. The corner was really badly dinged. And I remember he took it to a show and still got like $500 for it. This was pre-COVID. Those cards are insane now, but check out that if you're watching. Do a little research on that card. I just love that card because it brings me back to 2018 and just the one or two that I've seen. And so I would assume there's some others from some different players like Otani and some of the others. But
yeah, so what I'll do is I'll post that that link in the show notes so that you can take a look at that. I don't. So I was pulling that up while you were sending it. So what did you say? You said you wish that they were numbered, or you don't. You're fine with them not being numbered.
I like them not being numbered. It gives a little mystery to like maybe how many there are. And I think it would probably hurt if we really knew how many there are, because if they say there's 1,000 of those, that's not very many, or, 500 of them or something like that. But when you get a card numbered to 500, you're like, oh, well, that's not even numbered low. In the overall scheme of things, that's numbered pretty low, especially with what they're printing now. So there's that same Acuna that I stole the picture from, $4,000 raw or best offer.
Now, is that numbered?
No, that's just the super short print out of 2018 Topps. It was the big chase card.
Interesting. Because I know like out of the Mosaic product, like the Genesis parallel is not numbered, but apparently it's like super. It's like a short print, and the Peacock, and stuff.
I would call those short prints. This Acuna, because I bet you a lot of the people even watching this haven't seen this card. That's like your super short print.
Yeah.
I just don't know the print run. I haven't done research. There's probably research out there that is.
You could probably reverse engineer it, like if it was like one in every 3 or 4 cases. I mean, would you consider that a super short print?
I sure would, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know how at least 2 got pulled from our shop, but
well, that's why people should buy stuff from your shop.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm biased. So. I would like to own one of those. That card is so cool, but they're just so expensive right now.
They are, and I think,
but I like.
And I think somebody said, you know what? Let's not release the fact that we've got these super short prints and these short prints of these hot rookies, and we're gonna release them, and people are gonna find them and say, "Hey, wait a minute! I didn't know." It's like a Willy Wonka moment, like golden ticket time. You know. I love it.
Or you go back through your bulk and you find a Pete Alonso with the Mets mascot's head on it, and you just realize you just found probably $500.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But projecting forward in the future, so what does this mean for update, right? So now it's like, people were sort of groaning and moaning that we weren't going to have these big rookies in Top Series 2, and that we'd have to wait for update. Now it's like, all right, so what are they going to do for updates? So it'll be, it'll be interesting to see in Topps Chrome. Which are these still going to be short printed in Topps Chrome, or these are going to be their Topps Chrome rookie cards?
Yeah, it'll be. I do think as the hobby has changed, and these print runs have to be so massive just to keep up with the new influx of customers, that your Wander base rookie, like you said, they're just a dime a dozen now.
It's the Zion of baseball.
Yeah, that gives the 10-year-olds the opportunity to own a nice Wander Franco rookie, but the big boys are going to chase these super short prints. And so I love it because it gives something for everybody at every budget.
Yeah.
And they have to do stuff like that because if they're going to print and print and print and print and print just to keep up with demand and make sure we can get it into the hands of people that want to buy some, they're going to all have Wander Franco rookies by the end of the day. And if he turns into being an all-time great, then that card will probably be a $40 card in 10 years instead of a Mike Trout $1,000 card.
Right.
But stuff like this will be the true chases for that product. And they got to have some of those or else the big boys are going to be like, I'm not buying this product. Everybody's got 100 of these cards. I need something.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine pulling that short print and it be like the gold foil of that short print? That card would be so nasty. Oh my gosh. Just need to go find me a jumbo box.
It's probably tucked in a freaking cello pack at
probably
Walgreens.
Whoever pulls that it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. All right. Again, with me saying all right. What is coming to the shop this week, Josh?
New in the shop. So since the last podcast, we did get some cool fill-in products. I'm going to tell you those really quick. Because there are some different price point options. So Pro Set Power Basketball, that's a Leaf product. That product is in the shop. That is a product where you get, I think, like 7 autographs per box, and it's not very expensive, so it's good looking. Onyx Vintage Baseball, that is these little boxes where you get 4 cards. 2 are on-card autos. They do tuck some big boys in this product, but the product is very affordable because it's a non-licensed product. But I think they're like $59 or $69 a box. You get 2 autographs. So that's in the shop. Flux Basketball 2021 complete sets. So those are complete sets, and you get a bonus pack in there. And so that makes buying the complete set a little less boring because, you're getting a complete base set, but you're also getting a bonus pack that could have some it's got 2 different pulsar prisms in it or something like that. So got a bunch of those in the shop. Cereal boxes, we were talking before, because I know you've personally bought some cereal boxes that I've ordered for you. Rookies and Stars football cereal boxes. A cereal box is like a little miniature blaster box. I like what you said. It kind of gives you a little taste of the product before you invest a bunch. They're $20 to $39. If it's football, it's probably $39 because everything's astronomical. If it's basketball or baseball, it's probably $20 or $25. So Rookies and Stars football, we got cereal boxes into those. Mosaic basketball, we got cereal boxes into those. Chronicles basketball, we got cereal boxes into those. Donruss UFC hobby boxes are in.
Ooh.
And Mosaic soccer, we got a case of Mosaic soccer in.
You're talking my language.
Is hobby boxes? I think they're like.
I'm going to test your soccer knowledge. Is it Premier League? Is it La Liga? Is it Champions League?
You tell me.
Oh gosh.
What is that, a bad picture?
No, you got to zoom in on one of the boxes for me. It should be right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, but it doesn't say on the front of the box. So that little logo above
I see the logo. It looks like Premier League or Champions League. So
I think it's Premier League, if my memory serves me.
And so for you guys who are wanting to get into soccer, Premier League, that's like all the teams out of England, like Manchester United and all the British folks. So yeah.
Today we received a bunch of Prism football retail.
What? You are going to tell people this before I could get into the shop.
I've got plenty. We've got megas, blasters, and hangers. Y'all know the drill. It's not as cheap as Walmart, Target, but it is cheaper than it has been in the past. It's very, very fair priced. I think we got hangers and blasters at like $59. So that also means, because I got a bunch of it, we're going to be breaking some. So Tune into the break page at the end of tonight, because we're going to post it tonight. I can't break it tonight, but I can break it tomorrow. So if it fills fast, we'll do that.
This is what I'm going to lobby for, and I love putting you on the spot live.
Do it.
I think we should do a dual person break, You let people buy into this because I still have those 10, 20, 21 blasters.
No, 2021 hangers.
Hangers, that's what I said. It just got jarbled
That's
here.
2020, which is Burrow and Herbert.
And so we do a dual break of that. And that way we spread the love a little bit.
I'm down. So it would be,
do it.
let's do 10 of those hangers with 10 of this year's hangers.
And we just do it. We simulcast it.
All right. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
I am posting a 6 blaster, 10 hanger, like $30 break at the end of tonight. So
nice.
Join the Telegram group if you want to know the moment it goes instant, or the Facebook group.
And we'll loop in some of these break updates with new product. I saw that there was a premium basketball break just posted. That seems like that would be a really fun, inexpensive rip.
It is
to try to get some basketball in the off season now.
Yes. So FYI, if you're listening and you don't know that has been posted, what it is it's I'm pulling it up here because I want to say the right price, but it's 2019-2020 NBA Hoops Premium Edition hanger boxes. So it's 10 hanger boxes. It's $19.99 per team. This is Jordan Poole. This is Ja Morant. This is Zion, amongst a few others. This is the first year they ever did premium stock NBA Hoops. So I do know it's NBA Hoops, but it is the first premium chromed out version. So
it's a good looking card.
It's fun for $20. And then the Prism football will be posted, same website, probably shortly after this podcast. So
nice.
If it fills really fast, we're going to post another one and we'll fill that one and do them all tomorrow. So
now I know you mentioned UFC, that's on my notes, but you think you may get some Topps definitive? That's sort of a high end baseball.
So probably not definitive. So Select Baseball comes out Friday. We'll have that in store on launch day. Matt Roper, price of the Prism breaks around $30, just FYI. Contenders Optic Football comes out Wednesday. We will have that Wednesday. Don't have a lot of it. It's going to be a little expensive, but there are some people waiting on that product. So that's the only stuff I'm guaranteeing right now. Launch day, Select Baseball. Launch day, Contenders Optic Football. Prism Retail just hit us today. And then you were asking also about Select UFC. I think that's next week or the week after. Okay. And I don't know 100% sure. Lately, we've just been getting little bits on launch day, and then I get some later, like Donruss UFC is
UFC probably more than any other sport is timing. You know, you could open this UFC product, pull some great looking parallels, and then 3 months down the road, if you're not really in the MMA game, you may see a fight that's announced and it could turn, and then some underdog wins some big fight on a big stage, and their cards go crazy. So, you see who's rejoined us, and I think we like her better than Ed.
Careful. I think she tries to keep Ed out of the breaks, and I want Ed in the breaks. So don't make Ed mad. Hey,
no, we got to keep Nancy happy.
We love them both. Ed, if you're just joining, we got Prism Retail in today, so we're going to post some of that after the podcast. Got a couple breaks lined up for that. It's pretty cheap, so
nice. All right, we are going to launch into a little bit of a live Q&A. We got a little bit of a crowd here, so start posting some of your questions. I'm going to sort of prime the pump here, and this was sort of inspired by the fact that of one of the products coming next week is what's the deal with factory sets? Is this still a thing? And is it something that people should buy, and what should they do when they buy it? Factory sets.
So I like to let me show this comment. We blew Ed's cover on his break, so now she knows he's breaking. So just kidding.
There's
So the last factory set I bought personally and tucked it away. It was, and then we had a couple of them. Well, we had multiple. There was two left, and I was like, well, I need to buy one for myself. It was 2020 Phoenix football. We had factory sets on the shelf. I'm thinking, well, this is a sealed factory set with Burrow and Herbert and Hertz and many others. And I thought, well, that's a no brainer. So I bought one of those personally and just tucked it aside because, in 5 years, you may want to crack that baby open and grade one of those or something. I think it's all about the rookie class that's in it. We do have customers that will bring sealed factory sets into the shop to sell. And the first thing we do is, well, what year is it? And I got super excited. A guy calls the shop and he says, I've got this Topps factory set from 2011. It's the full, anniversary edition. And I'm like, oh, that's Trout. I said, well, bring it in. I'll make you a fair offer. We'll just do some research together when you come in. So before he came in, I was like, oh no, Trout was an update. Hopefully he brought it in. It was series 1 and 2 and not update. So Trout wasn't in that. And so it wasn't even worth buying. But could you imagine if Trout was in that, if it was update,
oh my gosh,
you'd have made a fortune just because that card's going to come out super crispy. So
yeah. So with the set, so I found this at like one of those antique malls, they have the little booths everywhere, and one booth had like some baseball cards. So I bought this. This was like $10. It was like a factory set, 1996.
So my first thought is like, what cards are in there? What
right? There's nobody in here. There's nobody in here. But as you had mentioned, there's obviously Griffey's on the cover, Jeter's in here. This is coming out of the junk wax era. So what do? Do I bust this open and pull out the superstars, the Hall of Famers, and go get them graded with CSG for $15 a card,
or the long term, a long term bulk PSA price?
Yeah, I've never opened one of these things. I've never purchased the factory sets from Walmart or Target or whatever you see. Are the cards in here usually in pretty good shape? This is from 1996.
Yeah. So here's what you got to be careful of is cards like old Upper Deck sets and things that have been smashed together for 30 years. Their cards
they can
be
bricked
bricked
up.
Yeah, and then as you carefully unbrick them, they pull the color off. So there's obviously old sets that are not chromed out or glossy that won't do that, but that's one thing you got to be super careful about. I remember what we used to do with 89, this pre-COVID, 89 Upper Deck sets. We would buy those from customers because, there's a Griffey in there and the card wasn't astronomical. So you could sell the set for like $50. And I would sell the set to someone and they would do this. They'd set the set down, slice it open it up, go to card 1, pull out the Griffey and look at it and go, dang it, it's off-centered. Or they would say, yes, that's going to grade well. So now guys do that. I've done it since, sold the set for $300. They'll slice it open in front of me, open it up, go right to card 1, carefully pull it out.
Yeah.
And if it's a 10, it's what are those, $2,000 or $1,000 or whatever. So if it's a 9, you probably get your money back. And if it's an 8, you lost money or whatever. So
selfishly, and then we'll move on because we got a couple of questions that I want to get to. Why do you think that the cards that come out of these complete sets, because they say complete set now, at least the ones that I've seen for like baseball, for Topps flagship, they say complete set on the back. For some reason, the hobby wants the stuff you pull out of packs instead of the complete set. Is that a thing? I don't know why, because sometimes the stuff coming out of these complete sets, they look better. Like, I think the Tatis rookie out of the complete set may be different than I think it's a vertical card instead of a horizontal card.
Yeah.
And like the Shohei out of the complete set is him hitting instead of pitching. So I actually like those better. But is it because there's no chase after it. It's because you could just pull it off the shelf
Sure.
and go get it.
I think there's a mental part of it that says, I didn't get lucky to get that card. I went and bought it. And so um, I think it's always about rarity. I tell people probably 5 times a day at the shop, they're coming in and learning about this. It's like, why is this card worth this? It's about rarity and about player performance. So, I mean, and obviously what product the card comes out of. There's a lot of other little variables. Those are the 2 big ones. How good is the player and how rare is the card? So,
well, Ed, and you're right. There's different types of collectors, holders, rippers, and then there's the unlucky collector, like myself.
Yeah. I thought in Amarillo, when I'd run into old coworkers and friends from when I lived there, and they know what I'm doing now about cards, and they ask me questions. And a lot of them, it's like getting back into it with my son. And, there's just so many. It's always like, what's your recommendation? What should we buy? And it's always, what type of collector are you going to be? Do you want to put sets together and you want to spend time with your son building a set? Do you want to just chase stuff to flip for money? Then you got to shop a little differently for that. Do you want to jump in breaks and have some fun and be entertained while you have a shot at something? Do you want to buy high end, low end? And it's do I buy singles or do I buy wax? Well,
right.
The wax is more fun. The singles is smarter. So do a little of both is my preference. But
absolutely. So I want to go back. Matt asked a question, and I speculated on it. Matt, I have no idea, and I'm assuming what you're talking about are these SSPs and short prints of these players in Top Series 2. I hope there are. I hope there's an Independence Day short print of Bobby Witt Jr. with a cool flag sort of motif, because you want to talk about a chase card. That would be super cool. What do you think, Josh?
No, I agree completely. I get distracted. I have a question. Ed says it's 100 times more than the 1991 rush I went through as a 20-year-old. What do you mean? What is 100 times more? Ed, will you clarify that? Because I'm curious your thoughts. Because I went through the 91 rush as well. I was not a 20-year-old, but I wasn't far off of that. But I'm just curious if he thinks that this is more printing, more customers, bigger rush. I'm kind of guessing that's what he means. And the advent of the internet, and everybody knows everything at all corners of the country instantly. Before it was like, I didn't know if someone pulled a card in Kansas. I went down to the Texaco and bought cards, and the only people I knew about the other cards were the other guys I was opening them with. So Ed says, as far as popularity, we didn't have internet. We had a shop and we spent money not knowing what else was out there. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying too. So, man, how the internet has changed everything from local businesses. I mean, getting crushed. I just think if there was no internet, how many card shops, as society has got more mobile, it's not, it was a big deal to drive an hour for me to go to Omaha, Nebraska to a card shop. It was like once a year on my birthday or a couple times a year, we'd get to go an hour to the card shop in Omaha. Other than that, it wouldn't now, I mean, you drive an hour just taking your kids back and forth to school. So even without the internet, I think the hobby would be, card shops would be flourishing for sure, because that'd be the only place you could get them. And you'd have them all, like Subways. They'd be all over the place.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. The internet exists, and that Acuna card, it was the first time I'd ever seen it.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So there are still things out there, little hidden gems.
Yeah.
That still exist. So, all right. We got a question here. Facebook user, I wish I knew who you were.
I like this. I like this question.
If Trout is traded, hypothetically, what would it do to his market if he goes to a huge market with visibility like the Yankees or the Sox? You want to take this first, and then I'll jump in?
Yeah, my thought is it would probably spike at first for sure. And then I think it would revolve around, is Trout going to get a ring or not? And if he if he doesn't just blend in as being another hitter on one of those big teams, which I don't think he would. I think he would stand out just like he does now. And I think with a bigger spotlight on him, I think it would do that. And I actually am secretly hoping for that. I hate these big guys going to these big markets. There's one player that deserves to win a ring because he is so good. Go look at what he's doing this year, and you're not hearing much about it. The dude is over 20 home runs before the break. I'm guaranteed he's over 300 at batting average, but I don't know that. He's putting up MVP numbers, and it's just what he does. It's just Trout. He's going to hit 315. He's going to hit 48 home runs if he's healthy, and he's going to knock in 140 RBIs. And it's just Trout. And they're gonna finish 500, and nothing's going to happen. Trout needs a ring, and I think that will be, if he's a pivotal point in a team winning a ring, then I think you can see things going to the Matt says he's even off by his standards, which his standards are so high. So let me tell you this little nugget too. I got this from a card shop investor that actually does a YouTube channel. Mike Trout's cards have historically been too high valued, and now they're coming down to earth, and they're coming down to probably where they should be. I mean, because look at the Trout update, how many there are and everything, and the price that it was at. It's just, he has just been made, his prices pre-COVID were just higher than they should have been. And so what I think would happen is they're going to come back down to earth, which is what they're doing now. And then if he were to be a pivotal point in a World Series win, then I think he gets kind of pushed up to that next level, which probably just puts him back to where he was at the height of COVID or something like that, or even a little less.
Just for clarification, so his slash line right now, he's hitting 290 with 43 RBIs and 21 home runs. And for you geeks out there, that puts him at 3.8 WAR, and his OPS plus. So 100 OPS plus means that you're average, and like if it's 110, that means you're 10% better than the average. His OPS plus is 195, meaning he's almost twice as good as anybody else at his position. And you're right, it's been a quiet MVP type season, but I'm going to be contrarian here. I think he is in a big market already. The markets don't get any bigger than Los Angeles. And so I think, and this goes back to what you were saying, I think it goes back to, and unfortunately, he's going to have to sort of buck this trend. Traditionally, you didn't have to be on a winning team per se to have value in the hobby in baseball. People really didn't care. It was more about the stats. But I think for Trout, because he's been traditionally quote unquote overpriced, his pricing has postseason relevance baked into it right now. So he's going to have to do something special in a meaningful post season series, whether it's hitting a game winner, stealing a home run, doing something, because like you said, there's some pent up demand for it. And I think he's going to need to be on that big stage. And if it's with the Angels, I think that would be an even better story than if it were with the Red Sox or the Yankees, because now he's put this team, which I don't know why. I even thought it before I thought about it. I don't know why people think the Angels are a small market team, because
they're just not been good.
Yeah, they haven't been good. I think it's a little bit of East Coast bias, who wants to stay up till midnight to finish an Angels game sometimes. But I think with him, I think he needs to do. I don't think he technically needs to win a World Series, but he needs to be having at bats in October. So,
yeah. What if? So Matt says they're an oversaturated market. JP was talking about his WAR. What about the Dodgers? That they would be a team that would make a run at him, and he stays in LA. And the Dodgers are historic. I think it's those big markets that are just historically large spenders. The Yankees are good because they'll outspend everyone and get all the big studs. And I think no one wants to see him go to the Yankees and win. Obviously, I think if he took the Angels and won, then you're talking another level for sure. Right. But what if he goes to the Dodgers and is a strong reason why they win a championship, but knowing he's surrounded by all these other big studs? Steals a little bit of his thunder, but he needs to be in the postseason. We need to see him do those things you're talking about in the postseason, hit those home runs or rob the home run or, do Trout-like stuff. He does that stuff all the time.
I don't know, man. I think we're in an age here to where, we've talked about it. No one is loving on Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving right now. There's something to be said about loyalty these days. And I think Trout, if he could do whatever he can do in Los Angeles and sort of tell everybody he really doesn't have a price, that's his place. I think that might mean a little bit more. I mean, but that's just me. I'm looking for the Disney movie ending here, to where he finally gets his due.
But, yeah, I don't care if he's just one of 5 other big time studs that dream team it and win a ring. I just want the guy to have a ring before it's all said and done. When you put that much into it and you're that good, and to just never have tasted a ring. I love those memes they put together. I think it was like Dan Marino and Tom Brady and a couple other quarterbacks that have never won, and they said, "I can't believe there's 7 Super Bowls in this picture. That's crazy." It's 3 other quarterbacks that have never won, and then it's Brady. But I saw someone do that with Curry. It was Curry and Barkley and 2 other guys, and they said, "This 4 rings in this one picture. That's crazy."
But, yep. What's up, JP? Yep. Your comments about Kyrie. The hobby and the public they've turned on these guys, these super teams. I think the public is tired of that, about chasing the money. These guys don't need the money. So
I saw another meme of Kevin Durant holding up a Warriors jersey, and it said Kevin Durant in the offseason is signing with the Warriors.
Oh my gosh.
That poor guy.
All right. I think that is it for questions. If you guys have any more, we're going to move on to the next segment, but drop some questions in. Maybe we could round out the episode answering those. Card from the vault. What do you got? Card from the vault wise? And like I said, guys, keep dropping questions in, and if we've got time, we'll get to
them. So this was one of the cards that I've been wanting this whole year, and that card shop in Amarillo. So he had just gotten back from a card show, because I said, he had a lot of like $20 cards in the case, and I bought 4 Brady's out of his case that were like 20 a piece. And I said, "Do you have any like high-end cards anywhere?" And he said, "I just got back from a show that someone bought me out really early in the show." And so he said all of his good stuff was basically gone. He said, "I have a few things in this box still." And he pulls out his box, and in this box was a Tom Genesis out of Mosaic. So this is the Super Bowl version in his Patriots jersey. Out of my, 1,500 Brady cards, I don't have a Genesis, and so I do now. So we made a deal on this one. I bought 2 Spellbound Brady's and 2 die cut Brady's. So I added 5 Brady's to the personal collection. I bought, because I've been preaching Russell Wilson this whole time. If you're listening to the podcast, I bought a PSA 10 Topps Russell Wilson rookie. And what else did I buy? And I bought a box of Phoenix Football H2. It was his only football hobby box left on the shelf. And I bought that one, and it was a bit of a dud, but that's what it is. See, even I get toasted sometimes. That's the way it is. But those are just ones I wanted to show off. My card from the vault is what I got back from PSA on trade night. You know, Palmetto was at the shop dropping off our cards. This is Matt Stafford's Topps Chrome rookie refractor, and I did get a 10 on it. So
congratulations.
Bought that off the street for not much. 10s are worth about $1,000 the last I checked. So I think, unfortunately, I have a feeling that in a good environment, this dude's just going to continue to thrive and be one of the quarterbacks it's going to be tough to beat.
Yep. All right. So speaking of a little Russell Wilson, got this back from SGC. I actually got two of them. So this one here, I'm not a big die cut guy, but I thought this was cool. And I'm an Allen and Ginter guy. So this is an Allen and Ginter.
Oh, that is die cut.
Russell Wilson, 9.5 from the National. So don't see these things a lot.
Nope, I've never seen that card. In my opinion, that's probably a PSA 10 because we know how it was DC grades. That's probably a PSA 10.
And I do PC Wilson.
Ooh, I like it.
PC his camo refractors. So you're not going to see a lot of these floating around.
All right. So what year is that Prism? That's his
This
Prism.
is his second year. This is 2013.
Okay. So that's the second year they did Prism.
Yeah.
Because Prism was done in 2012, the first year. What's that card worth? In an SGC 10 and also in a PSA 10, because I guarantee you that's a PSA 10. If SGC gives it a 10, it's so my thought would be maybe it would be worth sending it like that to PSA.
Yeah,
let them crack it, and I think you can do that.
Over.
Yeah,
so I don't know if they're doing. I don't know if they're crossing over anymore. Are they?
I was under the impression they were. So someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but. Worst case, you could crack it and send it. And if you're careful, then it's probably a PSA 10.
If I was going to crack one, and I showed you this one, where is it?
But what's that second year camo Russell Wilson? That's got to be a pretty good card.
It's probably $300, $400.
Is it more if it's PSA 10, or is that the price?
Of course.
Well, what is it as a PSA 10? 800?
Maybe for the right buyer. I don't know if I would get that now. But so I showed you this one on trade night. So this is the color match. The same year, the blue Pulsar. So that one's available, but it's going to be a while before I let that camo one go. I'm trying to put all his camo refractors together.
Dude, I'm telling you, Broncos, Russell Wilson, I don't like them. I don't like the Broncos. I don't have anything against them. I don't like Russell Wilson, period. But I believe he is one you should invest in.
Yeah.
And we're going to play this back in 9 months. I'm going to say, I told you so.
I do want to get to Ed before we move on to what's coming into the shop. I do want to put this up here. Ed asked this question. Will Freddie Freeman, be the same in LA than here in Atlanta? Can he maintain the same pace? I think he has. My boys were heartbroken when Freeman left the Braves until Matt Olson started hitting home runs and then they forgot about him. But I think he will. I think that swing and his personality and his leadership holds up. I think it travels well. There's something about genuine guys that can sort of weather that the spotlight, and so he seems to be doing well. You're not a big baseball guy. I know you don't follow Freddie Freeman, right? Or do you?
I follow baseball super close. Yeah.
Okay. But not the Braves or anything like that. Like you don't. That's not your team. You're a Cubs guy.
I'm a Cubs guy, but at the end of the night, I get on the MLB app and I go down and look at who won and who lost, and I look at, if I'm going by the Braves, I'll look at the stat lines of most of the games just to see what Acuna and some of those guys have done.
Okay.
My thought is...
what are your thoughts on Freeman then?
I think he'll maintain. The problem is he'll kind of not stand out as much in LA as he would in Atlanta. So even if he does maintain, correct me if I'm wrong, the Dodgers are rocking and rolling, right? They're in first place, and he's probably a good, solid part of that. And even if he maintains his pace that he was in Atlanta. I think he just kind of fades into all the other studs that they've got on that team.
I agree. I think he will be liked in LA, but he was loved. He was beloved in Atlanta.
That will change. That's for sure. He's just going to be one of the solid guys for them. Yeah, that's funny. JP's referring to the streak. The Cubs were on a losing streak, and the Braves were on a big winning streak, and then the Cubs beat them 1-0. So, and then the Cubs beat them the next day too. So,
it was cool to see those brothers, those catching brothers, the Contreras brothers catch. That was really cool. That had to be. Gosh, talk about proud parents there. I'm proud of my boys when they don't fight. I couldn't imagine seeing them both on the same major league field at Wrigley Stadium. That would have been.
Yeah, so there was a play too where Contreras got knocked in from second, and I thought, and the throw is, I was like, what if there was like a collision at the home plate? That would be hilarious. Didn't happen. So whoever put Cubs will win the World Series in 2022, I'm sorry, as hardcore of a Cubs fan as I am, they've got some nice little pieces. Their pitching is horrendous, and they just can't. That Padres series, every time I looked at my phone, it was 12-4, 15-2. I'm like, ugh. So
it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. They got
that's pieces. Okay. They've built equity. 2016 has given them all the equity in my book.
Yep. They've got some good rookies coming up. Ed Howard is going to be good. There's that outfielder. Gosh, what's his name?
They can build around Schwindel and Patrick Wisdom and some of the Ian Happ and these guys. They'll be fine, but their pitching is just atrocious apparently. So that's okay. We had a World Series a couple years ago, and that'll last us for a while. So
and one more from JP. What's the story with Machado? Manny Machado.
I didn't know there was a story with him. Last I saw, he was destroying the Cubs in that Padres Cubs series. Did something happen?
He's he's basically in the lead for the Triple Crown. He's a Triple Crown. It's legit Triple Crown threat.
And no one likes him because he's not nice, and I don't care. Who cares?
And then he went down with an injury last night.
Oh, that I didn't know.
I did not know that either. So he's a heck of a ball player, but he's not liked. So we'll see. All right, let's keep this moving. Josh, what's coming to the shop next week?
So on the horizon, just a couple big ones to keep your eyes out for. Stadium Club Baseball, potentially select UFC. I can't verify that because that's not one we typically get allocated. So I might get lucky and get some of that. But obviously Stadium Club Baseball, we always carry. Prism Basketball is on the horizon if it doesn't get pushed. Chronicles Football, that's still 2021. I have heard 2021 Select Football, which is normally out by now, has been pushed again. And I'm seeing that it is now the end of July. So we'll talk about that as it gets closer, as long as it doesn't get pushed again. But those are just a couple staples that are on the horizon. I won't bore you with a bunch of it, but if it's a staple that is coming out, we'll carry it. Stadium Club and those things we always get on launch day. So
fantastic. And how are we looking for July 9th?
Oh, put it in stone. Let's do it.
July 9th, trade night 9. Trade night 9 on July 9th.
On the 9th. Pencil it in. I know we just got done with one and it sounds like, man, another one already, but July 9th is still a ways away. So 3 weeks away, at least 3 or 4 weeks away. So
I'll see you guys there. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Crazy stat of the week. Josh, I'm going to bring your
I sent you a picture of mine to throw up on there so people can hear it and see it at the same time. I just thought this was nuts. So mine has to do with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and his father. This tweet says, like father, like son. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has 87 home runs and an on-base percentage of .363 in his first 403 career games. His dad had 87 home runs and an OPB of .363 also in his first 403 MLB career games. So that should probably get fact-checked. I'm guilty of wow, that's crazy, and just not fact-checking it. So I would assume if someone took the time to tweet it and they're not getting destroyed in the comments, it's probably true. But Vlad and his dad, through 403 MLB games, had the same amount of home runs and on base percentage. That's
It's
eerie.
creepy.
A
It's
crazy
creepy.
stat.
This is why that saying exists. You know, that apple didn't fall very far from the tree.
I think Junior will probably outpace his dad. It seems like so. But that was my crazy stat of the week.
And mine's not really a stat. It's just sort of in lieu of Father's Day, just some father and son combinations in the NFL. So you got Clay Matthews and his boys, certainly Belichick.
Yep.
The long Howie and his sons Chris and Kyle. I did not know that Ryan Neese is Ronnie Lott's son. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Walter and Jared Payton. Jared did not have the career that Walter did, obviously. I have no idea. Do you know who this guy is?
I don't.
Tatupu? Nope. Edmonds. We got some referees.
Ed Hockley. I didn't know
that. The Matthews brothers. Hayward. I didn't know this. Did you know Andrew Luck's dad played in the NFL?
I did not.
I did
not.
Oh,
I knew he comes from a football family, though.
Yeah.
Another reason why I didn't think he would stay retired.
You've got the Dorsets, the Hasselbecks, Jamal Adams and his dad, Geno Atkins, the Shulas, that whole coaching tree. So
I wonder if Dion's son will make it to the NFL. Yeah, I think he's probably going to, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but there is something to be said about genetics, right? I mean, look at the Ryans
or opportunity.
Opportunity.
There's some of that too.
Bob and Brian. So, you're around it long enough. You see it. You see
McCaffrey, right?
Ed McCaffrey. Let's see if he shows up here. You see the work ethic. You see what a dad does to stay in shape. The habits, those things are ingrained, guys.
Let's not. There's the McCaffreys. Let's not forget that that ownership will kind of long for or hope that the son turns into the dad, and so they'll give him a chance, or maybe Joe Blow doesn't get that chance. So.
Right. I mean, heck, we do that in the hobby, right? I mean,
yeah,
with Vlad, with Tatis, with Bichette. So anyway, that's our crazy stats. Oh, well, your crazy stats and my sort of scrolling stats of the week. But that's all we got. And you got any closing parting shots for everybody out there?
Here shortly. Keep an eye on the break page. I'll post that Prism retail break, and we'll get that filled hopefully pretty quick, because that's going to be a cheap, fun one, and it's Prism football. Let's not kid ourselves. So,
all right. Well, I'm Michael. He's Josh. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. This was episode 21. It's crazy. So if you've made it this far, give us a like, share it.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All the breaks post on there live. So if you're a subscriber to the YouTube channel, when we go live, boom, it pops up if you set it to do that. So we'll tell you when we're live, and join the Telegram group. You can find the info by going to the break page.
And I'll post it in the show notes, the Telegram group. So, all right, guys, good night. We'll see you.
See ya.